mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Due to confidentiality and legal rights afforded by the state of New Jersey, members of the public are asked not to speak negatively or in a derogatory manner about any employee of the board or any student. Please be advised that all or a portion of this meeting is being live streamed in real time and will be recorded for rebroadcasting at a future date. Roll call.
Mr. Fallon.
Here.
Mr. Garvin.
Here.
Mrs. Milano.
Here.
Mr. Picaro is absent. Mr. Piedmonte.
Present.
And Mr. Nieves is absent.
Okay, let's get started with our presentation and recognitions for Student of the Month for February. Mrs. Smith, you start?
I just stood up. I got things
Okay, you guys reverse the order sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Keep us on your toes.
Good evening, everyone. Each month, the Doyle School celebrates different areas of student achievement, and for this past month, we were excited to focus on visual arts. Our Artists of the Month were nominated and selected based on students who demonstrate outstanding talent, interest, and effort in the visual arts. We believe that highlighting these young artists helps encourage them to keep pursuing their creative passions and also foster an appreciation for the arts. Recipients of this honor received a certificate of achievement as well as have their photos prominently displayed in our school as well as social media and website. I now present to you our Doyle School Artists of the Month. I'm going to start reverse. In fourth grade, Kyle Jaden Nepal. Come on, okay. In third grade, Amelia Sanchez. In second grade, Dana Kim. In first grade, Gage Klump. In kindergarten, last but not least, Nina Broderick. Okay, we're going to come together and take a picture together, okay? Here we go. No, doctor. You were fine the way. There we go. Perfect.
Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to recognize our February Students of the Month from the Woodridge Intermediate School. Each month, our staff selects students who are consistently demonstrating what it means to be a blue devil. We show respect, responsibility, kindness, and pride in everything that we do. These students stand out for their character and positive impact that they have on our school community. For the month of February, we focused on inclusivity and kindness. This month's honorees are students who go out of their way to make others feel welcome, who lift their peers up, and who lead with empathy in both big and small ways. They help create a school environment where everyone feels seen, valued, and supported. For the month of February, we proudly recognize for grade 5, Mackenzie Cransey. In grade 6, Sabora Hoga. And our arts and athletics winner, Alessandra Borja. Congratulations again to our winners. Your hard work, leadership, and kindness set the tone for our school, and we are incredibly proud of the example you set for others. Let's give them another round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, the Woodridge Junior Senior High School has the privilege of recognizing a special group of students, our February Students of the Month. Each of these students represents the very best of our school community. They show up each day not only ready to learn, but ready to lead and to support others and to make a positive impact in ways both big and small. These students demonstrate qualities that cannot always be measured by grades alone. They demonstrate kindness, integrity, and commitment to always do their best. They are the students who lend a helping hand without being asked, who push through challenges with determination, and who set an example for their peers through their actions. Congratulations to our February Students of the Month. We are so proud of you. For the 7th grade, we have Anthony D'Angelo. For the 8th grade, we have Penelope Suarez. For the 9th grade, I don't see him, we have Brian Moncada. For the 10th grade, we have Jack Cordes. For the 11th grade, we have Ricardo Cintron. And for our senior, we have Abdul Elkish. I love it. Congratulations.
Okay, let's move on to our student report. Alexis?
Time is flying, and Marking Period 3 progress reports were released on March 9th. Marking Period 3 will end on April 17th. On March 5th, we held our annual career fair, featuring over 40 representatives from a wide range of professions. Thank you to Mrs. Peniagua for organizing this wonderful event. Our seniors have been especially busy this month. Continuing a valued tradition, 41 seniors visited Doyle on March 3rd for Read Across America Week, where they were each assigned a classroom and read to younger students. It was a fantastic day for all involved. A special shout out to the seniors who participated in the fashion show at the Fiesta. Students showcased their style in 3 categories: formal wear, decades, and summer vacation. Thank you to the parents for organizing this incredible fundraiser in support of the senior class. Our juniors successfully completed the NJGPA, a state assessment required for graduation. Great job to all of our juniors, as well as the staff members who helped proctor the exam. This month also included a meaningful field trip to Eva's Village, where members of the National Honor Society volunteered their time serving lunch to those in need. Mrs. Sturba and our band students attended William Patterson University Band Day, which is an annual festival for high school concert bands that occurred on March 4th. Our students performed Tomb of the Pharaoh and Caravan in their Shea Center for Performing Arts and received written and recorded feedback. They also participated in a 20-minute clinic with 2 university faculty members. A group of art, Italian, and chemistry students attended a glass blower trip last week. During the visit, students observed how professional glass blowers shape, color, and fuse various types of glass. Best of luck to our drama club students who have been working incredibly hard in preparation for the performance of Grease this weekend. We are so excited to see the show. Now moving on to athletics. Flag football has a scrimmage Wednesday and is working hard in preparation of the season opener on April 1st in Wellington. Bella Drodas and Fiona Helly represented Woodbridge in a recent media day at Alliance Orthopedics, and they are excited for their final season as seniors. Softball is currently in Florida, and they are getting better each day. They have played many scrimmages, and Coach Sarlo and the girls are working on mastering the fundamentals. The girls return tomorrow and open up versus Saddlebrook away on March 31st. Baseball continues to improve each day. They showed good signs of growth in a recent scrimmage over Bergen Tech and Memorial of West New York. Their home opener is March 31st at St. Mary's on March 31st. The resurrection of golf is back. Although we have many student athletes that are new to the sport, we are young and we will continue to improve each year. The team has shown growth during their practice rounds at Darlington and Rockaway County courses. Golf opens up this Thursday. Spring track has good numbers with over 45 athletes participating. Coach Kimberlin is excited for a strong performance next Monday at Elmwood Park in our season opener. Picture day for spring sports is Thursday in the gymnasium. Go Blue Devils.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our a recognition for something that's very near and dear to me. I'm, as a county executive board member, I'm taking great pride in helping the county with this entire presentation. This year we had an unsung hero from every single school district and every single high school rather in Bergen County, which is a first for us. So I would like Mr. Abel to present for Woodridge.
Thank you, Mr. Fallon. As Mr. Fallon stated, this is a relatively new program. I would say at some point after COVID, it was put together by the Bergen County School Board Association with the purpose of recognizing people who overcome obstacles and continue to do what they have to do every day. And we've had some great students in the past years be honored with this unsung hero. But this year's one is someone who is absolutely incredible. Imagine moving from a new state way across the country your junior year. Imagine losing your mother a few days or weeks or months into that year and pulling yourself together and being a peer tutor for other students in the school, helping her sister, helping her family, every day with a smile on her face. That's our unsung hero. And I'm going to read the resolution, then she'll come up at the end. She knows who she is. Resolution of the Woodridge Board of Education honoring Maya Cruz as a 2026 Bergen County Unsung Hero. Whereas the Bergen County School Board Association, in collaboration with the New Jersey School Board Association, recognizes unsung heroes from each high school in Bergen County to celebrate those whose character and impact define the heart of our schools. And whereas the Unsung Hero Award honors students who make outstanding contributions to their schools and communities, but are often overlooked by traditional recognition programs. Students who have modeled good citizenship, a spirit of quiet strength, and a profile and purpose that inspires others. And whereas these unsung heroes may have organized community programs, selflessly supported their peers, or achieved significant academic success while overcoming difficult personal challenges, disabilities, or language barriers. And whereas Maya Cruz has overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles to reach her full potential, serving both the school community and the community at large as a beacon of resilience and integrity. And whereas on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, Maya Cruz was formally recognized for these achievements at the 2026 Bergen County Unsung Hero Awards ceremony held at Henry P. Beckton Regional High School. Now therefore be it resolved that the Woodridge Board of Education officially recognizes Maya Cruz as an unsung hero of Bergen County and the Woodridge School District. And be it further resolved that this resolution is presented to Maya Cruz as a sincere token of the Woodridge Board of Education's congratulations and best wishes for continued success as they continue to lead by example. This is all in 1.5 years in our district right now. All those things accomplished, the strength, the love for her town, her family, and her fellow students. It gives me great pleasure to call out Maya Cruz. I got it. You got to get one. Are you done?
Okay. Before we move on, I'm going to take a moment here, and if you would like to leave, we'll break for a minute here. I appreciate it. I understand everyone's got homework to do. So we'll take a break here for a minute.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Good evening. This evening, I am obliged to give a report on district's chronic absenteeism. Last year was the first year of a formal report where we had the Doyle School and the high school identified as districts that had chronic absenteeism. The way that's defined is we have 180 days in the school day. Any student that misses 10% or more of those days, 19 days, for example, during the school year, are deemed chronically absent. Then you take the whole percentage of the school, the number of students who have exceeded that number and are deemed chronically absent, that percentage is made for the school as well. So in the case of this year, the high school remains with the designation, if you will, of chronically absent. The Doyle School was able to turn their numbers around a little bit, so we closed that plan for them, and we continue to work on the high school plan. So this is my presentation this evening. As I just said, the State Department of Ed defines a student to be chronically absent if they're absent from school for 10% or more of the school year. And I'm going to jump down ahead. Regardless, the state has a few excused absences. That if a student's out for that reason, for example, take your child to work day, that's an excused absence by the state. That is excused. The district could have its own policy for excused versus unexcused. But from the state's perspective, they're all unexcused. In the district, we're doing it tied to their grades and their performance in school. However, the state, for every absence we excuse as a district, the state counts it as an unexcused absence and towards their total. What's the big deal? Obviously, if you're not here, you're missing something. Chronic absenteeism is the primary cause of low academic achievement and a powerful predictor of students who may eventually drop out of school. Attending school every day increases chances of success in school and in life. Studies show that by grade 6, along with earned academic marks, absenteeism is a top predictor of dropout rates. And I've quoted you our graduation rates in 21, 22, and 23. New Jersey in 22-23 had the lowest chronic absenteeism rate in the nation. However, more than 70% of our New Jersey schools have 10% or more of students chronically absent. That's in every school building and every school district. According to New Jersey, as I said before, there are some excused absences. And when a student or a family cites this reason, it goes into excused in our data management system. So we have a variety of religious observances that appear on the state-approved list. Students in grades 11 and 12 can use up to 3 days for visiting colleges. Take your child to work day. If they participate in observance of Veterans Day. If they participate in Board of Election membership activities. We have students now that are poll workers, so that absence is excused. Closure of a bus district that prevents a student from having transportation to the receiving school. So if Boonaki were to have difficulties with their transportation and those students can't get here, that's going to be an excused absence. Participation in one civic event for students in grades 6 through 12. The absence can only be applied to an event sponsored by a government entity, a community-based organization, or a nonprofit. The event is required to incorporate an element of service learning and address a public issue or concern. This is something that if the student opts to utilize that absence, they're going to have to bring some sort of proof, usually a letter from the organization saying so-and-so is going to participate on any given day. What is excused in our district, but not necessarily as per New Jersey? Your child being sick with or without a parental medical note might not be excused. It'll be excused in the district, but not by the state. The state is really invested in how much seat time, how many days you're reporting to school and doing your work and succeeding. Court appearances, absences consistent with their IEPs, suspension, death in the family, medical dental appointments, anything as deemed by the building principal on appeal from the student's parent. So that might be excused within the district, but not necessarily with the state. This is just the statute or the law which makes me have to deliver this presentation today. Now, we have some good news. In the last 3 years, last year in reporting 23-24, we had 10.2% chronically absent at Doyle, which of course puts us 0.2% over the limit. The high school had 15.8. The district as a whole had 11.7. In our most recent year completed, 24-25, Doyle has gone from 10.2 to 4.5%. The intermediate school is still hovering at that 5.7 to 6%, and the high school has increased from 15.8 to 17.3. As a district, we've gone down. Today, or as of last Friday, I was able to calculate where we are in terms of chronic absenteeism, taking the number of days in our school year so far as of Friday and factoring in a prorated number for chronic absenteeism. Right now, Doyle is hovering at 3%, the intermediate at 8%, the high school at 6%, district right now at 4.6%. Of course, the intermediate school has the fewest students, which sort of skews that district percentage. And that's with about 60 days to go or so. So what's happening is each school is aware of who their chronically absent people are, because usually, barring some unforeseen circumstance, it's the same kids every year. So they know who they are. So I communicate to the administrators early in the year, listen, this is who they are. They're not exceeding the number yet, but they're on their way. We've got to put forward some sort of intervention. And I really think that the numbers I showed you in the last slide are indicative of the effort that the administrators, the counselors, the school nurses, everybody have put in to try to make sure kids realize the value of coming. Of course, depending upon the age, the early elementary, sometimes children want to come to school, but something's going on at home that they can't do that. And then you go up to high school, where, as a high school parent myself, some days I can't win the fight. I go to work, let my wife try to win the fight, and make her go to school. So last year, I put out a survey to see in the entire district, why are we absent? And in that survey, there were a variety of responses. Classroom cleanliness related to illness, coming out of COVID. More after-school activities for special needs. So I suppose if we have activities at the school, they'll come to school and then stay for the activities. Some people said there's nothing the district has to do, it's the responsibility of the parent to get the child there. Staff should receive development in 504s and IEP administration. Other families send in their sick children, which therefore makes my child sick. In the high school, they should not count tardies to school cumulatively as an absence. There's a certain amount of tardies to school that results in an absence. And that person felt we shouldn't count the tardies. So they can be late every day, but don't be in school. Allow more days of absence if the student is a strong student and can make up work. Stagger drop-off and pickup time at the intermediate school in Doyle. That's a real thing. It's going to cause a delay in time. It should not result in someone not coming to school. You don't drop off the one, so you know what, it's kind of late, we'll go home with the other one. They both have to get dropped off to school. District reward system. There's nothing. My child loves school. We need an automated system to report illness or absence. Offer one mental health day per marking period. Too many half days. This was a Doyle thing. I'm not sending my child to school on a half day. It's not worth it. So I keep my child home. It could be a child care issue. Give actual days off, not half days. But we only have 180 days. So if I give days off, in lieu of a half day, we're not going to school for 180 days. Later start post-winter recess. In other words, don't come back the first Monday after New Year's. Give it some time to allow everybody to come back from their trip, get used to the environment, Woodridge again, and then go back. But of course, where do I get my 180 days in? Reduce the 24-hour fever rule. 18, 14. Science says 24 hours and it stays that way. Need more academic program and playtime with friends. Need more school counseling. The school workload results in students not coming to school. The ability to receive homework if absent, which does exist when you need it, But again, we're trying to limit the number of absences. Having some cross-cultural themes and events are needed to match our diversity, to motivate students to go to school. We should be permitted to do remote learning with a doctor. Okay, I would love for that to happen at some point. It would make my snow days much easier, but right now it doesn't exist. Now, everybody in response to absenteeism, there's obviously a certain point in the morning where there's daily confirmation going home to confirm the child is not in school today, sometimes get a reason. Many parents send a proactive email to their school office, my child's sick, we're away, funeral, whatever have you. Any medical note that's submitted goes on file. Communication takes place from the school to home by quarter, by semester, by full year. You know, obviously, if there's a trend of consecutive absences that are unexcused, then we're looking at truancy. We need to do more communication with our out-of-district placements for students receiving special services. Unfortunately, we can't be at every pickup with the bus for every student going out of district, but their attendance counts in our numbers, and that's what affects the high school a little bit. Counseling, of course, is needed. Administrative discussion with individual teachers for recognition of patterns. Child safety and case managers providing support to those students on their caseload with attendance issues. Tomorrow I'm going to post this presentation as well as the presentation that the state wants in terms of data. It's a template of sorts. I'll post that tomorrow. But I think based upon where we stand today, barring a rash of illness, I'm looking forward to perhaps closing the high school's plan for chronic absenteeism and not have to do this again next year. Are there any questions that I can answer? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. Trustees, are there any comments, questions, or concerns? No? Okay, moving on to the board administrator's report. Mr. Gleason?
Good evening, everyone. Since our last meeting in late February, the business office has continued its usual responsibilities, paying the district bills, and ensuring that payroll is processed accurately and on time. Over the past 4 weeks, however, this has also been an extremely busy time for budget development. Working collaboratively with our teachers, school administrators, Mr. Albro, our partners at Lettership and Bliss, Mr. Garvin, and the Finance Committee, as well as a number of vendors and service providers we've developed and are presenting our preliminary budget for the 2026-2027 school year. I'm pleased to report that as part of the budget, the district received an additional $129,829 in state aid compared to last year. This increase represents the combined total of transportation aid, special education aid, security aid, and debt service aid. Turning to the finance resolutions on this evening's agenda, I'd like to highlight several items. Item 1 is the approval of the bills list. Item 2 is the approval of the board secretary and treasurer's report for February. Item 3 is the certification of balanced budget. Item 4 is the approval of monthly budget transfers. And item 8 through 10 collectively represent the approval of the district's preliminary budget for the 2026-2027 school year. As noted, this approval is for the preliminary submission of the budget to the county office. Following their review and any suggested modifications, we look forward to formally presenting the final budget for board adoption at our April meeting. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Superintendent's report, Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Fallon. This evening, I'm just drawing your attention to a couple of items on the agenda as well. In curriculum instruction, we're approving, I thank the board for their support, our summer transition program, as well as our extended school year program. Both programs will be operating at the Royal School this year, as there'll be some work going on in intermediate school and possibly in the high school. Now, these are opportunities for students, whether they have an IEP or not, based upon referral from their teacher. In the case of a special ed student, it's in their IEP to offer these types of programs. It's either going to be 2 hours a day for gen ed students and 3 hours a day for extended school year students. We do our best to work with the Woodward Recreation Department to not have conflicts with trips, etc. But I really hope that if your child is recommended for these programs, you seriously consider the opportunity to give your child a chance to extend their learning for as long as they can to get ready for the following year. And honestly, students who are deemed chronically absent, they'll probably be our first invitees to try to make up for the time lost not being in the program. I also have 2 items in board operations concerning calendar moves. First off, I truly hope it doesn't snow again until next February. That's my first hope. But because of the weather that we have, in conjunction with, I scheduled 2 emergency days in this calendar. Last year I did the same thing, it worked out very well. We exceeded by 1 day as of today. So therefore, I've had to take the action with the board's approval of amending the calendar to come to school on the first day of spring break, which is April 6th. It'll be a 1-session day. I'm working with the administrators to ensure coverage for the day. I know different schools in our district have sent out surveys. That's just to get an idea of what we have to be ready for. We have a very good staff turnout for that day. The superintendent will be involved as well. We will serve our day of school, and that'll satisfy the county. In talking about next year's calendar, which was approved at a prior meeting, again had 2 emergency days in it. And it was the feeling of the board to try to get ahead of it and perhaps be ready for another bad winter season. So we're going to move from 2 emergency days to 3. And in doing so, we're taking the Thursday prior to Labor Day, which was originally going to be a teacher day only. That'll be the first day of school, 1-day session with teacher professional development in the afternoon. And that'll enable us to add a 3rd emergency day to our calendar. And of course, if luck works out, we're not going to use any of them. We'll be able to give them back to our students and staff at various points of the school year. Mr. Fallon, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Alwell. Trustees, any comments, questions, concerns?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to approval of minutes. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approves the minutes for the following meeting. Public session meeting, February 26, 2026. Can I have a first? Mr. Garvin, second. Mr. Piemonte, roll call.
Mr. Fowler?
Yes.
Mr. Garvin?
I'll abstain. I wasn't here for that meeting.
Mrs. Milano?
Yes.
Mr. Piemonte?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to committee reports. Trustees, I'll just read them out. Curriculum and instruction, we have an approval of out-of-district placements, approval of field trip request, approval of CST CPI training, approval of district-wide summer learning acceleration program, approval of extended school year program, approval of student-teacher classroom observation field experience internships, approval of home instruction, approval of purchase equipment, approval to amend out-of-district placements. Under personnel, we have approval of request for leave of absence, approval of request for leave of absence, including Moonachie, approval of personnel appointment for the 25-26 district substitutes, approval of student volunteers for community hours for the aftercare program for the 25-26 school year, approval of chaperones, approval of personnel appointment, approval of coaching appointment, approval of policies, under policy, approval of policies and approval of regulations. For buildings and grounds, we have approval of facility requests with Moonachie and another one without Moonachie. For finance, we have approval of the bills list, approval of monthly financial reports of the board secretary and treasurer, approval of certification of balanced budget, approval of budget transfers, approval of fundraisers with Moonachie, excuse me, and approval of fundraiser without Moonachie. Approval of acceptance of donation, approval of budget funds and transfers for the 26-27 school year, approval of transfer of capital funds to debit services for the 26-27 school year, approval of the 26-27 preschool education program budget, approval of maximum travel reimbursement for the 26-27 school year, approval of board operations. For board operations, approval of the amendments of the district calendar for 25-26, approval of the amendment for the district calendar for 26-27. Under finance, we have an amendment walk-in for finance number 12. Approval of the NJSEMI corrective action plan for the 26-27 school year, whereas for NJA AC 6A, 23A, 5.3F, an action plan is required for those school districts that did not meet at least 90% parental consent response and/or 100% of budgeted revenue by the end of last fiscal year. Whereas the Woodbridge School District, as required, will submit the NJSEMI corrective action plan with the 26-27 budget submission for not having attained 100% budgeted revenue by the end of the prior fiscal year. Now therefore be resolved that the Woodbridge Board of Education approves the NJSEMI corrective action plan for the fiscal year 27 semi-program performance. Trustees, any questions or concerns? No? I would like to open up the hearing of citizens for resolutions only.
All your voice, Mrs. Cruz.
Hi.
The microphone.
No, that's all right.
I want- I don't want-
I can hear you.
I don't hear the echo, so I can't.
Okay, Melissa Cruz, 335 Columbia Boulevard. I just have a few questions. First, approval of the fundraiser for kindergarten graduation t-shirts. I was just wondering, the name of organization is Doyle. Where is that fundraiser going to?
As far as we were told, that it was only for the raising of the money to cost for the cost of the t-shirts for the kindergarten graduation.
Okay, so it's not fundraising.
Technically not, it's fundraising to pay for the cost of the shirts.
I just also have another question.
I'm sorry, wait, hold on. By the way, we did already ask Mrs. Schmidt if there's anything beyond that, then the board needs to be notified of that.
Okay. My second question is, in regards to the calendar, obviously this year, them having to add back a day has caused some things for both staff and parents. So I know in other districts, including mine, that on the calendar for every school year, what they do is they build in. So we know that if we go over our snow days, we already know that we're gonna have to work, or the parents already know that this day is gonna be coming back. Is that something that the board maybe would look into doing in the future?
Yeah,
So parents are aware and also staff's aware. That doesn't mean that staff won't still take the day off, but at least it gives parents a heads up that they may have to find childcare, or staff may be coming to work that day if we go into an emergency situation.
yeah, I brought that up with Mr. Alvaro at the last meeting, and it is something that I hope that Mr. Alvaro can get together to make sure before the school year starts that we do have that on the calendar.
And my last question is on this walk-in finance. Can you just speak a little more about that?
The New Jersey Semi-Corrective Action Plan is basically about Medicaid. So as students who are eligible to receive Medicaid go out for related services, their related service providers log the hours, and we get a pittance, to be honest, of money back. So every year we have to budget 90% of the previous year's collection. And this year we fell short of reaching that number, as for a variety of reasons. Students have left the district. We're losing track of logs. Some special ed placements don't want to do any logs. We have to make the extra effort saying, listen, send us the information, we'll create logs. So there's two reasons to file a corrective action plan. One is you don't get 90% signatures on consents for IEPs. And that used to be a problem for us. That's taken care of.
So that's through our child study team. I'm not following through with parents though.
For the consent, we're not being corrective action plan for. It's only the money. The money's really the administrative assistant and my director of special ed reaching out to these schools to find out, hey, we know this child's receiving services, we see the
So
bill,
the out of district.
put them up. It's all out of district. And out of district and our speech and OT students here, if they qualify for Medicaid. It's about,
No, I'm aware of that, but you're saying losing track of logs, so with our out-of-district schools, because our in-district children still receive money, the same
and
thing.
probably 75% of our out of district schools do without a problem. Some say they don't do it. And that requires me to call their director and say, what am I paying for?
So
In
that's
the past,
why.
we used to have issues with the special ed students not signing for the Medicaid
Okay, I'm-
waivers. We've gotten
Yeah,
past
I'm aware
that.
of this, I deal with it in my own, I understand it, but I'm just saying that we lose track of logs, that's something that, I mean, really shouldn't be taking place, and especially in districts.
No, it becomes a bill, in district we're fine, it becomes a billing matter for out-of-district placements when we're anticipating the turn of those loans. And right now, we're at a very good pace in this year's collection to reach our goal.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, seeing none, closing the hearing of citizens. Are there any questions online?
Nothing online.
All right, so we'll move on. Is there anything for new business before we move on to voting? No. Okay, moving on to the resolutions. This includes Moonaki, curriculum and instruction, 3, 4, and 5, personnel, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, policy and regulations, 1 and 2, buildings and grounds, 1, finance, 1 through 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the addendum number 12. Board operations, 1 and 2. Can I get a first? Mr. Pimonte, second. Mr. Garvin, roll call.
Mr. Fallon,
Yes.
Mr. Garvin,
Yes.
Mrs. Valado,
Yes.
Mr. Piamonte.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to Woodridge only, curriculum instruction, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, personnel, 1, policy and regulations, none, buildings and grounds, number 2, finance, 6 and 7, board operations, none. Can I get a first? Mr. Milano, second. Mr. Pimonte, roll call.
Mr. Fallon,
Yes.
Mr. Garvin.
Yes.
Mrs. Valado,
Yes.
Mr. Piamonte.
Yes.
Trustees, anything for unfinished business?
If I could, Mr. Fallon, sure. Working off of what Mrs. Cruz spoke about as far as the calendar, I am going to reach out to my administration to see if we have any dates set, for example, prom and those types of things. And then I'll take that information and I'll propose to the board at the next meeting. 3, in my district, are called blackout dates, 3 blackout dates that will designate and the order by which they'll be used.
Can
And
we
then
also
they
make
also
sure
give you the
that,
order that you're gonna have, which is nice.
yeah, can we also make sure that maybe we put on what days we're gonna get back if we don't use snow ahead of time?
Oh, yeah, we can do both.
Yeah. It's nice, you know.
If we need them, it'll be these dates. If we don't need them,
And this way, if we plan, we'll get no snow next year. so.
Absolutely.
I know it kind of stinks that we're going back before Labor Day, but I think we all pretty much felt that the 3 days should go back into the calendar just as a precaution. And rather than going an extra week in June, it just made more sense to do it this way. All right, opening up the hearing of citizens, anything you want to talk about?
I'm sorry, guys. I'll be back in promise. I haven't been here in a while. Okay, so, now I'm putting on a different hat, so I'm here on behalf of the Woodridge PTA. So I just want to take a moment to explain why the PTA spoke to administration over the summer. I know that there was somebody here at the last meeting talking about class parents, so I just wanted to come here on behalf of the PTA to explain why we made the decision to move away from traditional class parents and shift to 2 school-wide class parties. So I'm actually going to read something because I did have it approved by the exec board, so I wanted to make sure that we all were on the same page coming here. So this decision was not one that was made lightly. We found that all classrooms were not equally supported, that some classes had multiple volunteers while others had none at all. In several places, classrooms, 7 to be exact, had no class parents at all. Some would only have 1, or others would only have 1 parent that could drop off due to our fingerprinted and background check policy. Funding was also uneven. We frequently received last-minute emails from parents who could no longer attend or host due to work or health reasons. This left us scrambling to find replacement volunteers and at times asking other parents to cover additional classrooms with very little notice. In addition, managing fingerprinting and background clearance became increasingly complicated. When volunteers had paperwork delays, we had to follow up repeatedly to ensure that everyone was cleared. Most importantly, the classroom parent model intentionally created unequal experiences for our students. Some children enjoyed well-staffed, well-funded celebrations, while others had a very different experience. Our goal as a PTA is to support every student, not just students whose families were able to attend. After discussing these ongoing issues with school administration and keeping our students' best interests as our top priority, we made the decision to move to a more school-wide model. This year, we sent out letters through pre-K through 6th grade. We collected the funds for the entire building. We successfully hosted a winter party, and we will host an end-of-the-year school party as well. This approach ensures that every classroom is included. Every child has the same opportunity to participate, and no class is dependent on whether a parent is available, cleared, or able to fund the party. For the winter party at Doyle, students enjoyed a snowman donut on a snowman plate and a juice box. At the intermediate school, the students had a small treat of a bagel and they have a holiday treat. I don't know where Mother she went, so now I'm just gonna memorize what I said. So basically, everyone has the same thing. So now they're gonna have end of the year pizza party, and Mr. Softy will come. So what we did was, one letter went home, pre-K through 6. They're still getting 2 parties. We had to make this shift for those reasons. Again, it was not something we just did lightly. We still have opportunities for parents to come in. We have the book fair, holiday boutique, field day, and end of the year classroom events. We've also made a shift that every grade level now has end of the year parties. So it's not just where we used to have K through 2 have Pirate and Princess. Every grade, pre-K has their own, kindergarten has their own, 1st grade, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th has their own, and then 5th and 6th have their own. So it's all opportunities for parents to be involved. So we've increased that involvement, allowing less involvement for class parties. And to be honest with you, there were 4, but there was only 2 parties that parents were going in for. Again, it's not something that we did lightly. We took a lot of time to consider it, and it was getting to be a lot more work for us. And I know, Mr. Fallon, I watched the recording. You asked a good question. We've been doing this together for a long time. When our kids went to Anthony and your son were together, we ran into similar problems. We continued to run into some classes were heavily where I would have 10 parents to pick from. Other classes, like I said, only had 7. So, 7 rooms that were not
They
covered.
could say, when we went back to our kids, we were covering multiple classes.
Right. And then you have parents, who could go, and then other classes not. So if you want to say even, it was even maybe with what they were having, but it wasn't even with the parents showing up. So I know Mr. Albo sent out a survey. We have not received the results of that survey, but I just wanted you guys to be aware that we still are having parties. It just maybe looks a little differently, but the students are still getting to celebrate. We did take the teachers and the admin's recommendations. Kids are still having fun. Teachers like that they were able to have it on their schedule, not so much our schedule. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of what we are doing.
Speaking for me, not for sitting right here tonight, I totally agree with him. I thank you for coming back to us with that information. As I said at the last meeting, if they could guarantee that every single class is going to have the same thing and have parents in every class, maybe I'd consider something different, provided the administration wanted to do it. But we already know that that's probably not going to
Listen,
be the
we
case.
tried, and it obviously makes it difficult too, because now you have to be fingerprinted and background checked, which is a safety thing that, the board and Mr. Alba felt very strongly about. As the PTA, it being on, our backs, we feel strongly about it as well. It's not an easy thing, and we have a lot of working families. So, and also, when you get the call the night before, scrambling to try to find somebody to fill it, and we try to do grade levels, everything the same. So if you're playing bingo and you're doing a dance party, everybody in 1st grade should be playing bingo and having a dance party. It just didn't work out. So now from pre-K through 4th, everybody got the same snowman donut. So if your brother was in 2nd grade, your brother and your sister in pre-K and 2nd grade both got a snowman donut. And I know, not always should fair and even be the same, all that, everybody gets a trophy. I'm not a fan of it, but it is like this. So, if you guys have any questions for us, we have meetings once a month. We meet as exec board. We're always open to have conversations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Hearing none, seeing none, close the hearing of citizens. Anything online? Yeah. Trustees, anything else before we adjourn? No?
Mr. Fallon, the plays this weekend?
Yes, the play is this weekend.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
There are tickets at the door.
Yes. Or you can email Mr. Colarusso or Mrs. Blender or me, and I'll get you the tickets, $10 each.
Okay, can I have motion for adjournment? Mr. Biamonte, second. Mr. Garvin, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming.